CAC Apex, and I don't know how I'm gonna write this title in the future, especially since it's be uploaded somewhere this week. I don't know when. But this will be a skullcrawler edition, or skullcrawler discussion video, I guess, for hiya. Well, like for hiya playing figures, right? Okay. So first off, let's go out with we have two hiya skullcrawlers. We got Skull Devil, and then we got the technical repaint and rehead modeled for number 10 or GVK Skullcrawler. Alright, so what this figure is what this video is about is possible figures that they'll make of Skullcrawler types and variants with the figures they have, or the figures because they have them, right? So this is all going to be a Skullcrawler oriented video. We already got the GVK one. We already got Skull Devil, which now we're going to go over ones that we might get in the future. So first we're going to go over the ones that is my retools or just repaints, which, to be honest, since number 10 is already confirmed to be being made, I think is more of retools now. So, I mean, I guess we can go ahead and get repaints out the way. So for like one, we have possibly, yeah, we do repaints for it. So one we possibly got, well, I'm the battle damage Skull Devil that we can get. Because if you remember, Skull Devil had got shot in the eye and got like her throat slit at one point. And you gotta remember that they probably remodeled it for so they can have the number 10 skull head, so they can have the interchangeable tongue. And that's already another figure just pretty much being a repaint and remodel. This, we know figure company stuff, the more bodies and models they can use to repaint, just retool and add parts, they're gonna go for it. You know what I'm saying? The skull crawlers, there's enough variety for that, it seems. But that's the only other Skull Devil outright one that they can have, or at least from just repaint wise or slight remodeling, I guess. The battle damage one. Now the other ones would be, of course, like we're gonna stick to like traditional, like the on screen, right? So the first next one is going to be, of course, we're going to start with the juveniles, which, as y'all remember, the juvenile skull cars are smaller, younger, and I want to get like a decent image of a juvenile one. So, hold up, I gotta scroll down my phone. You know, I'm gonna pause right here. And I'm gonna come back. Sorry about that. There's like two. Is recording? Okay, sorry about that. It was just two images I was trying to get. As y'all know, the juveniles are smaller and have a different. Y'all can't even see the phone. Y'all can't really see the phone. It's too. It's the brightness. You know what? Y'all can't even see the flipping images. Okay, so we're not gonna do it the traditional way. Alright, so we're just gonna run when we try to show like the other ideas, we're just gonna briefly show it what y'all can't really see on the phone. What's going on? So we're just gonna go over it. Alright, so we know about the juveniles. Skull crawlers are about half the size of the adult counterparts, pretty much in every which way, and then of course they have less weaponry in defense as the adults. So one, I feel we can get juvenile skullcrawler, which we also technically get more than one reissue of the juvenile. So one, the base model of this would be shrunken down a bit. Then of course they would remodel the head a little bit, because the younger ones have like a more roundish head, circle head, and then they would have a different tail tip because the juveniles don't have barbs, and they also don't got the little bone ridges on their backs or the elbow spikes, right? So that's the first one issue that we would have, that we would get the remodel to feel like the juveniles, because one, that's one thing that would probably be last thing they have to really worry about for like how you'll have to worry about for the Kong Island movie figures, because to be honest, the other thing will be the bamboo spider. I mean the motor long leg spider. What's the bamboo spider? I don't remember. And possibly the Meyer squid, which I don't really think those two are gonna be done. Maybe the spider could be done, but until it'll be the juvenile, which will be easier for them because they'll just shrink it down and then do some slight remolding, which would not be the end of the world. right? So then you have the initial juvenile ones, right? Being about probably about 3 inches tall at max, but really about if you're literally cutting everything in half, it'd be like 2.2 inches, which is around the traditional scaling for half the time for their figures anyway, for the most part. Um, then you have how they come about with the juveniles, because they can have the model where it doesn't have the interchangeable tongue. You can have a model with the interchangeable tongue accessory. Then you do the fact that you do have more than one child juvenile in the movie, and like they can literally have it where like you have the one that was just killed the skirt buffalo, right? You can have one where it's painted with blood on his face. You can have the one that's in the graveyard where it has like they can repaint with having scars and bloody cuts from the katana, and you got stuff like that for the default figure for you to at least use the juvenile more than once. Then we go to what I'm gonna dub concept repaints. And you're probably like, what are you talking about that? Well, as y'all know, if y'all paying attention, Hiya has the Emerald Mothra figure, which you literally go look. It literally says they painted it the color from the poster. So, yeah, companies do sometimes do concept figures or colors. I thought, hey, this can work. So the first concept color would just be the same colors as the GVK skullcrawler before the juvenile one. You'd be like, hey, in theory, they would have the juvenile ones in there too. And they probably have the same color as number 10, right? I don't see a problem with that. So that's already another repaint and recolor you can have, because there's nothing that would go against that being the case. And then the other one would be the concept colors that I have noticed for the film, because they can use this from your image. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to properly see these. And yes, I checked to see that these were actually ideas from the directors or whatever, but or they were proving that these were concept art by the art station and not like fan made concept colors. So first we got these, and y'all really can't see as much, but we got like this blackish one with like this white coloration over with like a little more dots here. Like I said, we're just focusing on the colors of the models. And then we got this one that's more like a jaguar panther spots with blue colorization and white. And then we have one. This one just kind of has more of the standard juvenile colorization. It's just in this one we have more like a red face with bright red eyes, and it's more like slicker and black and oily. But that's two colorizations that they can. Cause like you said, they can just use the colors for the juveniles, and then you have like a whole different set of juvenile colors. I mean, is everybody gonna get every color? No, but everybody gonna get a color for to represent each one, or just for difference? Yes. We got they got some of these ones right here where now, as you can tell, some of these are clearly different head shapes and models. But like I said, we're not worried about that. We're not gonna worry about them making a different shape. We're just talking about colors, which we got like a brown. We got like a brown colorization with like a pinkish white face. We got like this sea fish color with like this has spots. Then we have like this there's a like this albino pinkish color. Then we have literally a giant salamander color which is black with like different splodges of the yellow. And then we got this like more blackish one. Then we have this full albino one. You know what I'm saying? And just for concept wise, they can literally use as repaint ideas for the juveniles, and just for this, which I think like I said, sometimes people be like, hey, what colors, how it would look in like good in as a color. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of these concept colors that they had for the figures would look nice. Like, can you imagine like a salamander colored one of this? I think that would look nice and stuff like that. So they can technically at random choose some of these colors just to have, and then just reuse how they have like the extra accessories and types, and just have like, oh, this is color from like a jungle one and whatnot. Like I said, some we don't know if the skull crawlers, if the colors can vary from environment. We don't know. They can do that. They can play around and be like, hey, this is one more built for it. Doesn't have to be more orange and stuff like that. And I feel like people will still go for it. Like, sure, it wouldn't be outright this movie accuracy, but that would just be a cool just to have like a whole skull crawl like an army type of deal. Um, then trying to think. What else? Ah, yes. Now more to retooling. Now more to the straight up again. Continue with the retooling. Which hold up. All right. Now another one from on screen. We have which this one actually can get a repaint too as well. But so we're gonna go over to the Kong anime cartoon series with skullcrawler. And as y'all remember, we actually had him ambush one. If I could get this on the screen, I guess it's better here, right? And then you have the poster one. Okay, so y'all can see this one better. It looks like. Okay, I don't know what was going on with it. All right. And the way I see it, they can literally that would for the most part just be a repaint because I feel like the only thing they have to actually change the model of would be the spikes. They would have like spikes. They would have like why is it dark over here like that? Anyway, they would have like spikes over here on top of this. And then it would just be like the default one that we see in the film would be more like a more outright gray color, kind of juvenile color, more gray, and it would have like little spikes. And then that's all they would have to really remodel. I feel like because they're not gonna be screwing after the cartoon, and then that's some variation of that as well. And they can be like, oh yeah, this skullcrawler, and then they can really repaint the model that they use for the spikes because the poster of that one in the anime was actually had it where the top was more like brownish, like a beige, a light brownish tan color, while the lower half was more like a darker grayish green. So already that's already two separate repaint figures over here. Now I'm not saying how it's gonna do it. I'm not saying spam skull crawls, but I feel like a lot of people still purchase them or choose to get certain skull crawls over other ones. You know what I'm saying? And they can literally use this model good chunk. I'm just discussing what they could do with the model they got in retools of that figure. All right. The next one is gonna be technically a console. The last two are gonna be more like technically console arts of Skull Devil, or not console arts, but I just so we have to remember at one point Skull Devil was supposed to be called Ramrock Prime, or it was called Ramrock, and then that was switched out or whatever. All right, so there still was like little designer hedges of how that was supposed to look, though I can't see any outright images here, so we're gonna have to go with this. Now, none of the Red Rock Primes seem to have like the barbs or whatnot. But the way I see it is that they can just, since this is technically a Skull Devil colorization in a sense, I feel like them doing Ramrock can literally just have it where they make it where like this is more spiked up a bit, or maybe not. This repaint where it has like a red line going down. The one I'm seeing looks like it has like little slightly more bent upward horn-like parts of the skull. But really, I see like you can just do like a full-on repaint of the color. You don't even have to really change the mold at all. I feel like you can just do the repaint colorization and now be fine. Where it's just this big red stripe down, kind of like how this GBK skullcrawler is, but like it's more like a darker ash gray for everything else. I don't think this had to be a retool. I feel like that can just be a repaint. And I think people will still get because it's just another skull crawler and whatnot. And I don't know if people view that better than the other one or not. But hey, then you can just have that be Ramrock or whatever. And the last one, which is actually still this one. And for those who know about the comics, or like I said, I haven't really read the full story. I just know the DC has had the portals or whatever, and some toy maker destruction or whatever from Young Justice, or not Young Justice League with the Monsterverse. All I know is, like I said, I'm not gonna try to spoil the issue or whatever. Just know the little image you saw here, and I was trying to see if I can find some other part of it, but I'll just have to discuss that here. Is Skull Devil gets resurrected, pretty much part of the villains, or not, right? So we get Skull Devil, who's leading Hollow Earth-sized skull crawlers. which look like they're in between being juveniles and adults. So I don't know what's going on here. So first off, um, for one, seeing how the drawing for them is consistent with each other. The only thing, my thing with this would be just it's just would be a retool for the part when parts are repaint. So Skull Devil is so one they would actually make this be bigger because Resurrect the Skull Devil or Skull Devil King. There's a lot of names here. Some call it Skull Spawn. Dude. I haven't seen no official name for it. But at the end of the day, Skull Devil brought back. You know what I'm saying? And the way I see it, they technically, for the most part, I've seen all the images that I can find with the comic, is that this would just be bigger, and it would have some remodeling. So one, it seems to tower over Kong, and it seems to tower over Godzilla a bit. So it'd be like be around, or at least even height with Godzilla. So I see it, they would have the model, the main model skin of this would be at least about 7 to 8 inches tall versus the 4. So they're like pretty much double in size for the figure. And then the new weapons and equipment that the Super Resurrected one has would be there would be like these little bone spikes that come up like a mohawk or a head crest like thing. It has like seems to have like a bone crest that covers the armor. So it becomes Skull becomes more armored. So it has like a little bone crest armor here. It has like shoulder pad armors here and then some armor right here. So it has like little bone armor to the shoulder and it has the more ridges here. And I was like they can do the head sculpt too, but now I realized that all the one when people draw these, it's not all context. It seems like some parts of the drawing it doesn't have little spines, other parts it does. So and then I saw the other skull crawlers and some of the images they have the same head of that one anyway. So no, I feel like they would just be retooling the arms, the body part here, and then they'll just make it larger. And I will say it is. And the main part, it can still just be like pretty much a larger scale version of the figure. Wouldn't be too much of a big deal. And it's just be like, oh, this spiked up version of Skull Devil. That's bigger. And oh wait, hold up, I dropped my lid. Anyway, but yeah, there'll be a larger one, which will probably at least be just imagine this with the same bulkiness or at least height wise as like Stunner over here. It just like it's this. Why is it dark in this area? Anyway, just imagine like it's like its head's right here, like this it's that height. But besides that, that's all. That's all I can say about potential skullcrawler figures that we can get out of this. From the ones that's actually on screen in like a series of the ones that we can use from concept colors. Do I think Hiya will do it? 50-50. I do believe the repaint ones actually ones where they just can do colors that's on film. They probably do. Because they wasted no time for number 10 at all. They wasted no time. So I don't really see a problem with them doing like the juveniles. I feel like for this, because like I said, they already technically retooled the head for this for number 10. So them retooling a head again twice over, once over for the smaller ones ain't gonna make no difference. Because all they're gonna do is have it where the tail is smoothed over, the head remodeled. This having no spikes or whatever, and then they're just going to shrink it a bit. It's not going to be hard. Them playing around doing a concept idea of having this GVK Skullcrawler having a juvenile version, and them just repainting juvenile. I can see them doing that because it's like, hey, look, y'all, it's in theory one of the juveniles that we didn't see. And I think people will be fine with that because you can have like, oh, look, we have basic color, and then we got red color, yada yada yada. The anime one, I keep getting confused if it's the anime or cartoon. I keep getting mixed results. I'm gonna say cartoon Skullcrawler for now. The cartoon Skullcrawler, again, I feel like them just tweaking the a little bit just to make it have a little more like spiky, and them having two separate repaints. They might go for it and wouldn't be out in the world for that. And and now we have this like a different skull crawl. Like if you didn't pick this one up or you don't end up picking the other one, it's like, hey, look, y'all, you got another adult skull crawl. You got the juveniles. It don't make a difference. Here you go. Um, Different colors, or if people want to get all the skull crawlers have like variations armies, they can. The ones, and then like I said, the concept colors can randomly happen because, well, they do poster colors, which is why I say that and the cartoon skullcrawler can have two repaints. So we could see that happen again, and I think some of the colors that the skullcrawlers could have had, or some of the Hall Earth versions could have, we can do, and I feel like people will still go for it. I feel like the colors that would go with the palette would work out. And as for like Ramrock or Resurrect the Skull Devil, Ramrock, I feel like is just a random repaint they can go with. Battle Damage Skull Devil, they'll probably actually do the Battle Damage version. Most likely, I can see them doing that because then they'll probably give Kong a propeller eventually. Because then that gives them another reason to release Kong again. To have him have like the propeller showdown thing. Then, like I said, Ramrock, like I said, most parts just do recolor. I feel like just do his colors. Seeing how it's still technically Skull Devil, is just the concept idea was different initially. Then you can do, and then like the Resurrected one, that's a comic one, so I'm 50-50 with that. But really, I feel like they can still do it, especially since for the most part they're just gonna make this larger, and they will just be molding some extra like spikes, some stomach ridges, some like bone ridges here, and then they'll like put like little pads here. But for the most part, it will still be the same figure. So I feel like it's something there, but I don't expect to see it anytime soon. If anything, the juveniles are ones I feel like are outright getting done, and then any ones that can do repaint possibly in the future. But like I said, they got we've seen literally 5 different Godzillas get made within a year. So yeah. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Like I said, I gotta keep the time focused because we're gonna work for the next like 30-40 minutes. And there's nothing else to add on here. I will do a Muto discussion one, a possibly Godzilla discussion one, a Great Ape / Kong discussion one, and possibly some other ones. I will say, I'm going to go over the ones that actually have figures first, and who just be repaints and remodeling, versus any ones that haven't been done yet. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to hold off doing like Warbat and T-Mat. I might mention some ideally in these other videos, but not much. Also, the Muto I might wait to do until I get a figure of her. That way I can actually show body parts in comparison. Anyway, let the chaos guide you, and I hope you enjoy the video.